will discuss this in court, where people can freely go, and these hearings will also be made public, so the public is aware of what's happening, not a closed door kind of thing. I'm talking about like real courts. And that's why we were trying to take our own to other courts.
All right, but you see, I just want to stretch that line a bit. We've seen in this country how that the courts will give, you know, a judgment, there will be decisions from the court, and then the implementing body or the unit of the government that is supposed to execute that judgment would simply just ignore it. And we've seen ministries, parastatals, different organs of the government ignoring court judgments and not carrying on as if those decisions of the court do not matter. Particularly now, we've seen that in the last few years, it's become really rampant. Amnesty continues to document instances where authorities fail to obey court orders. So if we've seen that happen, what gives you the confidence that if we go to court and anything happens as a result of, you know, the atrocities that were committed on Nigerians who participated in the NSAS protest, what gives you the confidence that the court process would yield anything tangible?
See, first of all, I'll just tell you this as a worry girl, that we go see again. Do you understand? We go see again. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, our aim is to live in a democratic society. So the courts are a necessity. We must do that. If other, you know, institutions don't carry out the order of the court, we are back to NSAS. We're back to things like NSAS. We're back to voicing out our cries. We don't have the power the government has. We don't have the money. We don't have the influence. What we have is our voices. And as much, you know, I respect your organization so much. I think you guys are amazing. But we are tired of documentation, Zo. Do you understand? This is why a lot of people are out. A lot of people are frustrated. It's just that so many people don't know what to do. You understand? So people that can, look, people that can bring everybody together, bring us together, need to do something, need to say something. The NSAS movement did not just appear on the road magically. You had powerful voices who actually said, let's do this. I'm going to be there. And people came out. So if you have courts that would, you know, obviously look through the evidence. Look, if they look through the evidence and they say we don't have any case, that's a different matter. You respect the courts. It will hurt because we know our rights. We know what with the evidence we have. We know what happened. But if the courts were to grant in our favor, okay, and then the other institutions do not carry out those orders of the court, that in itself, you know, when they say the proof is in the pudding, that in itself is the bad governance we're talking about, is the corruption we're talking about. And so we'll see again back on the streets.
Sweet. Thank you very much. And let me just stress that Amnesty does not only monitor, does not only document. We also campaign, we do advocacy, we do research, and so these are some of the things that we do. So just to put that out there for our listeners and for everyone that is on with us tonight. Let me
Thank you for that.
What we have seen, and I think I started by saying that, we've seen denials upon denials upon denials, you know. And some people have said that the government's denials are equivalent to asking us to disbelieve, actually, the evidence of our very own eyes. You were at the Tollgate. You witnessed this incident. And our organization also released a timeline of events that actually documents the sequential actions of the military with timestamps. Yet, the government continues to deny these events. What was your initial reaction when you had, you know, people from the government saying it never happened? We've had them say things like it's a massacre without bodies. They've used all sorts of expressions. What was your initial reaction when you had these? And more importantly, what is your current feeling about these deliberate denials and cover-up by the authorities?
Wow. To be honest, a majority of our leaders, they're out of touch. They are simply out of touch. They have no idea what's going on. You know, if the power of social media shocked them, you know, it's not like in the old days where you tell the newspaper what to write. The power of social media shocked them. Look at them running up and down trying to make bills to ban social media and all of that stuff. Instead of them to run up and down to figure out how to help Nigerians, how to make life better for us. Instead of them to run up and down to figure out who ordered military people to walk in, to come into that setting, already shooting, no conversation. So our leaders are out of touch. You understand? Of course they would deny. They deny everything. We're not surprised. You see, they are dealing with people that they've been stepping on for so long. And I want to say something that might be hard for all of us to hear. We are a huge part of the problem. We are a major part of the problem because we sit and we take it. And I'm also a part of the problem. I've taken it for so long. So who are you to talk? You understand what I mean? So they've trampled on us for too long. This is why we're trying to get the attention of people who we believe they will be afraid of, or at least they know that some things will be at jeopardy if they don't respond to them. That's number one. How I feel about it, I don't feel anything about their denials. It makes no difference. You see, I'm not, the people that know me very well will know that right from time, I'm not a clapback artist. I don't really know how to do it. I don't know how to clout chase. If I did, trust me, I would have done it because it's good. I don't know how to do it. So if I'm coming out every day to be denying their denial, to be countering their denial, that one is a Telemundo series. While they're denying, it's fine. Let them deny. They're actually giving us more evidence, you know, of their incompetence. You understand what I'm saying? So please, they are welcome to deny as much as they want. Nigerians are intelligent, just like this live we're doing now. I believe you are real. Are you real? Sheon, are you there?
As real as you speak.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that. So you are real. My goodness. So yes, there's no feeling really towards that.
All right. You are in hiding, or at least you've gone underground, and I'm sure you know so many other people that have gone underground. As an organization, we've been documenting that also, stories and testimonies of people who were threatened and intimidated just for attempting to speak up about the answer. Some who participated, you mentioned how the people's accounts have been frozen. Some people were stopped at the airport from traveling. We see all of these things, and when you reflect on all that is going on now, what do you think that represents for the future of this country? Particularly because, as you mentioned, people who dare to speak up are the ones that are being harassed and intimidated, and you know, some of them were arrested, some of them had to go underground like you. What do you think this means for the future of this country?
Well, just like I said, like at the beginning, right? The future is what is motivating me personally. I know that other people are motivated by other reasons. At the end of the day, we have the same goal. I want to believe that. The future does not look promising to anybody if we continue like this, if this is the trend. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and then you're not going to blame people if some people just retreat and hide, because nobody really wants to be in this position. As I'm talking to you like this, I really don't know, how far. Do you understand? My dreams, everything is like, I don't know, it's like on hold or it's been blown up. But I believe that silence is worse. Silence is worse. The fact that it hasn't happened to you or to me does not mean it may not happen to you or to me or to my brothers or to my sisters or to my friends or to my mother. I've personally been harassed by policemen severally. There are times where before I reach where they are, I started smiling like a fool, just so that I can pass. Good evening, sir. I'm afraid. The job that I do requires me to be out at night. That's my job. I'm out at night most of the time, right? Most of the time we're playing music at night. Do you want to understand as a woman the kind of terror that goes through your mind? I have experienced personally. I know people who have experienced personally. There are girls that have been raped on the roadside, back of police trucks. So if we go into this conversation, I can tell you silence is worse, because guess what the silence is doing? It's beefing them up the more. Now we really have no credit. Like now we are really sacrificial lambs. What thing they go do? If you notice now, yeah, policemen now, when people pull out their phones, they say, yes, record me, I go shoot you, nothing will happen. This is how they talk now. So you paint the picture of that future.
So I've listened to people describe you as, very brave, very courageous, and I know that there are many people out there who you've told us what has kept you going, or at least the future is one of the motivations for standing. But how else are you able to withstand these direct attacks from the authorities? Because I know that one of the goals of our organization is that we want to inspire a generation that will continuously ask that their rights be respected and protected. And I'm sure people want to learn from you. How have you been able to stand still in the face of the attacks against you? We sometimes see how you are trolled online every now and then by people that are perhaps, sponsored by state and
my friends.
actors.
My
How
friends.
exactly have you been able to stand and remain resolute in the face of these direct attacks? Because I know that many people want to learn that from you, and people want to be inspired by your story.
Well, so I'll tell you something real quick. When I was a kid, when I was growing up, my mother used to call me Anante. Anante is Igbo for I know the hear word, right?
The stubborn one.
Yeah, right. I'm the last born, so my mom, she's so tired of me, but bless her. But anyways, I've always been passionate about everything I do. I've always seen things to the end. Take my craft, for example. I've been passionate about it. I would spend about 16 hours, 8 hours in the morning time, 8 hours at night, trying to hone my skills, trying to invent a new way to play something, to scratch or whatever. I've always been like that. In school, I've always hated bullying. I've always hated it. I didn't understand it, right? Or any manner of injustice. Any time I had the chance, I would speak to it. I would use my platform and at least say something about it, but to be honest, my voice was not as powerful as it is right now. And it is an unfortunate incident that has put me here, because I usually was a very quiet person. Okay. Now, for me, since they want to put me here because of their own wickedness to Nigerians, they've actually given me work to do. So while they've put me here, let me work for them, right? And bring the terror to them. Because the truth is this, you cannot silence someone like me. I've always been outspoken. Like even I have very few friends, they know me. I always say what's on my mind. I've always done it. And it has always brought me like some unfortunate, scenarios, even in my job. But I've still stood by my belief. Okay, so it's not something with regards to learning, it's not something you learn from me. You need to find it within yourself, the strength to do what you want to do. I don't particularly blame anybody who says, this person is talking, that person. Nobody knows everybody's situation. People's situations are different. You understand? And again, when you look at me, you have to make that decision and say, look, if I go out like this girl, the potential of not being able to work, the potential of not being to, lose your house or all of that stuff is there. I've had from phone calls to all sorts of things. I'm just not the type that put it on social media. But the threats have been insane. And so I said to myself, the more you do it, the more reason I will even fight this fight, because this has to stop. It's my character. So you now check what type of character you have. What type of character do you have, Sheun? Are you the type of man that would say, I want to speak? Are you the type that will say, I want to follow? Are you the type that will say, I want to be silent? At the end of the day, it's up to you. But you must know that the end result will be the end result will be indicative of your present action.
I want to ask you something about the government has come out and of course they have told us that SARS has been dissolved, use different kind of words, disbanded, banned, and all that. But of course, people still, between when SARS was dissolved and now, Amnesty International has documented instances where the police still killed people on the street, unlawful killings, and all of the things that Nigerians went on the street to protest against, including killings by police. All of these things are still happening. Does this tell you then, Switch, that there would be more protests? And if there indeed would be more protests, do you think they will achieve anything if the previous NSAT protests did not achieve anything?
First of all, according to my internet people, do you know SWAT? Have you met SWAT? You have not met SWAT. Don't mind me, I play too much. See, first of all, don't say the NSAS movement didn't change anything.
It's not. Those are not my words.
Yeah.
Those are the words.
Okay, like the words of people. Okay.
Yeah,
so I want to encourage people not to say it didn't change anything. Yes, it looked like a very small shift. It looked like we were quashed. To be honest, we were quashed. But because of that movement, you've got the world. You have the world. You have global bodies. You have international bodies that are looking into this matter. Like I've said, these things take time. Okay. Now, with regards to the government and the police, I want you to understand the wickedness that is this government, right? I want you to understand what it is. We are out on the street asking that the same police people that have been brutalizing and killing us, please increase their salary. Please give them a better lodging environment. Psych evaluation is important. Background check is important. We are basically speaking on behalf of these people while also calling for the justice of people that had been killed prior to the NSAS protest starting, right? But these same people, instead of seeing that, these people, they mean well, like they actually, this is not hard to do. Let's draw up a bill. You understand what I mean? Let's do a whole, a complete overhaul, a reform. No, instead, they came out and tried to shut us up. There was a picture. I remember when I landed in Niger, I went straight to, because the traffic was insane. There were protests. I remember tweeting about it, like, what time is the protest? I want to be there. There was insane traffic at the airport. By the time I got to Lekki.
This was when the protests had just started, you mean?
Yes, just around the beginning time, yes.
Right,
just
so
by the time I got to
the country from somewhere else.
Yes, I went to play somewhere, came back, and then I tweeted about it. I was like, where is this NSAS protest? I want to be a part of it, right? And I remember people tweeting at me that, go fit come out from airport too, and they were right. Yeah, it was packed. People were out there. There are different pictures and videos, proof of protesters giving police people food, drinks, mineral. They were, some in the beginning, especially in Lekki in the beginning, because I was going to the Lekki protest. There was a day that some policemen were in their vans, kind of like in their riot gear. They just sat down there waiting. And protesters went to give them water to drink. That clip should be somewhere online. It's not like I'm trying to make it up, right?
I've seen that myself.
Oh, you've seen it. So I want you to understand that we have seen like what we are capable of. We've seen it. We came to a protest where it has no leader till today. Okay, Nigerians came together, put money together, supported each other. Muslims, Christians, everybody prayed together. People were looking out for each other. I remember one day some people came and shared whistles to all the ladies and said, if anybody tries to harass you, please blow your whistle. That is the real Nigeria. I need you to understand something. In case you're looking for a model, that NSAS protest is the real Nigeria. From donations, there was accountability. So shout out to all the organizations that came, that was involved in making sure that we had food to eat, water to drink. They would put online, see how much we've made, oh, see how much we spent, oh. There's mobile toilet, oh. There's a place you can charge your phone, oh. That is the real Nigeria. There was security, there was happiness, everybody protected each other, different tribes prayed for each other. The Nigeria that you see these people doing, it is the one where they keep us under their thumb, because they know that if they unleash the full potential of Nigeria, Nigeria has the capacity to stand shoulder to shoulder with a Dubai. It has the capacity to stand shoulder to shoulder with an America. But these leaders make money from our sufferings. I need people to understand that even the devaluation of the currency, there are people that are betting against the Naira in the stock market in the United States of America. There are cabals in that government that benefit from the fact that we don't have lights as a basic thing. So my brother, let's not talk about, you know, where we see, trust me, the NSAS movement, I even call it like I call it Exhibit A. This is what Nigeria truly is. Now the question is, what are we going to do with what we have seen with our eyes, the potential of Nigeria?
Well, one of the things that you said that struck a chord in me was how leaderless the protest was. And a protest that was that leaderless was so organized until we began to see certain persons within the system sponsoring thugs to disrupt this protest. How did you think young Nigerians were able to pull that off? And what did you think was responsible for the protest being designed as a leaderless protest?
That's why I told you that Nigerians are very aware. We are very aware, you know, we're just made to look stupid to people all over the world because of our behavior. It is a shame. Nigerians are very aware. We know we know the story now. Look at labor union. There are so many examples in the past that showed what a leader in an organization or a protest, what kind of compromises they may make just to benefit their own pockets. Nobody wants their bribe, or I want to believe at least a lot of us don't want their bribe. If it's bribe, by now I should have been bawling because the offer was, do you understand? I was like,
you should have been bawling, but you are too
I should have been bawling. I'm too stubborn. Do you understand? Because the truth is, maybe I really don't know what I would have done, to be honest, if I wasn't there. And I'm just grateful again to people like you that has helped me work through this, because I've had days that my mind was just messed up. It's as if I should just go and sleep and call it a day. But the government did not know how to attack a protest that didn't have a leader. You understand? And of course, you always have dubious characters here and there. I remember reading the news of someone who was claiming to be a leader and took 4 million naira, something like that. I'm not too sure on the details of that because I'm trying to recollect from memory. But of course, you always have dubious characters. And it traces back to the background. It traces back to the situation in the country. Everybody's trying to hustle. So everybody's trying to take advantage of things they shouldn't even be taking advantage of. So the government got frustrated, right? Severally, when the governor, Sanwo, came to the toll gate, it was a case of address all of us who are listening. Nobody was getting up to say, okay, I'm coming to your office with you alone, sir. So now when that did not work, they now injected those thugs to make us look like we were not being peaceful. Something that had been going on for days, no destruction. People were sweeping. One of my colleagues, who's a DJ as well, Nana, was also there tidying up after strangers. I want you to understand again, it shows to the character of the real, like, average Nigerian. Let's leave people that are really having it tough. And let's leave those that are really corrupt at the top. So because that didn't work again, full-on war, and have proceeded to cover it up. My very big uncle and part-time detective is yet to show us what he found in his camera They did everything possible to show that we were irresponsible, but they've not been able to come up with anything tangible that we can at least say, okay, see your point.
All right. If I were to ask you, you described how the government did everything and some persons sponsored talks. Would you have an idea from the intelligence gathering that you've been doing all this while? Would you have an idea of where the thugs came from, who sponsored those thugs? Is that something that has come to your radar? I mean,
come on now. Why would you ask me this question now? You don't say these kind of things there. Just leave everybody to be saying their thing. Hopefully, we'll all jam in any courts that will give us the time of the day.
Excellent. So now, let's go to a more global topic. Yeah? We've seen people, particularly from the other side, comparing the NSAS protest to the attack on the U.S. Capitol, and some people have said, "Can you see how it was, dealt with?" And then we tried to, rein in on the protesters here, and then Amnesty and the other people are making a lot of noise. They are shouting. What would you say to that comparison?
First of all, I want to quickly say something. We must understand the root cause of certain problems. Okay. When I read the news on the attack, the failed insurgency at the U.S. Capitol, you need to understand that these are people who have been fed so much lies. They truly believe the lies. Take QAnon, for example, who believe that Democrats literally drink the blood of babies or stuff like that. When you think about it in 2021 that we're in now, you begin to wonder, why would you say something like that? But it goes back to the background. Now, with all due respect to everybody, I'm not trying to shade people, because you also have people that are going through their own things. But a lot of those people come from certain parts of America that lack a lot of things. Education, for one. So they are acting based off of something that is they've either harbored in their hearts, either because they in one way or the other promote racism, in one way or the other do not respect other races, other cultures, or in one way or the other really feel threatened that maybe their guns are going to be taken away and all of that. And then you have a president who kept on using rhetorics like fight. Mainstream media, fake. They're trying to steal our democracy. A horde of Mexicans are coming in to rape you. Come on, you start to build a defensive mentality. No, I have to protect my country. So you need to sort of understand where that comes from. Now, the difference here with NSAS, and I'm ashamed to even be making this difference, really, right?
Because we've seen some defense from the other side comparing.
That's why I said I'm ashamed to even be making this difference. But let me make it anyway. We actually have proof and evidence of ongoing police brutality. It's been going on forever. People are arrested. One of my staff was arrested on his way home in the evening. I remember going there because I called my boss. He wasn't available. Thankfully, his wife was. He's a chairman. I don't have that kind of power. I wanted somebody with authority to escort me to the police station. We went there just as we are talking to these people to let us. Can we see, what did this boy do? He's a cleaner. They had already transported these people to another prison on the mainland before we even said Jack Robinson. What's the name of the prison? You won't tell us. That alone is an abuse of a human right. You don't let the boy make any sort of appeal. I want you to understand where we're coming from. And then what we're fighting for is something that would at the end of the day benefit us. Because if you treat the police right, I don't see why they will be dragging us to ATM machines to empty our bank accounts and be robbing us in broad daylight. So you cannot compare an insurgency on such a sacred building like the Capitol to NSAS protesters who were just marching on the streets, demanding that their rights be respected, demanding for good governance. Did we attack Aso Rock? Did we try to climb the fence of Aso Rock? So the comparison is completely, it's outrageous. Again, it shows their incompetence, their lack of understanding of what is going on in the world. They just want something to say, I told you people were better than these people. It's not only happening here in Nigeria. Should you not be setting a standard so that other countries will look at you and say, I want to be like that country?
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let me, further this narrative around the global comparison. We've seen the Black Lives Matter protest in the US. We've also seen the NSAS protest. I've read a number of articles here and there where people are comparing the two protests. What would you say are the common threads between the Black Lives Matter protest and the NSAS protest?
Look, I think from some research, I'm not an American citizen. I don't live there. We read the news. We come to our own conclusion. But I thought, me? Don't worry. When I'm going, I will tell you people. Don't worry. I don't know. Everybody say I'm everywhere, but it's no problem. Anyways, first of all, it was very commendable. From research and all of that, and from testimonials, there is systematic racism in America, right? The one that benefits the white people more than black people. So I think it was long overdue, and it was welcome. Of course, we always promote peaceful protests and air out your opinions, because the more you speak, the more pressure you put on the government to act. Okay, and they did that, right? And I believe that their government is actually working towards that. Again, there was some comparisons that they were trying to make with regards to how the police handled the rioters at the Capitol and the Black Lives Matter protest, Black Lives Matter protesters, right? Easy, I never chop. That's Black Lives Matter. It had me today, so I think situations like that, you probably have to be on the ground to fully say, yes, this is how I see it. But they're doing a good job there with regards to at least you can see the accountability. It might not be it might not be as fast as you want, but you can see accountability. You can see the news medias covering this thing left and right. Those leaders in the United States, if they wake up in the morning, it's that news they're seeing. Before you know it, between their drive and to their offices, they'll be thinking of, look, we have to do something. People are really upset. People are, you can see accountabilities. People are being arrested. Even former military personnel that were in that in the group of the rioters have been arrested. Now hang on. The difference is NSAS protesters have been arrested, killed, and arrested again, accounts frozen. We have not really seen one military personnel arrested or a policeman arrested in connection with this. And please correct me if I'm wrong. When I get internet, the days I get it, that's when I post something. So correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not wrong, then I guess I've made the point again, right?
I guess that's what is quite shocking, and which is why we are saying that 100 days on, absolutely nothing has happened beyond what we have seen. If anything, what we have seen again and again have been cover-ups and denials by the authorities. But when we started, we spoke about the government's response. We said, for example, that yes, SARS was banned, judicial panels were set up. Beyond all of this, what specifically would you, as a player in this field, like to see that you have not seen?
To be honest, I'd just like to see accountability. That's what everybody wants to see. I shouldn't be here. People should know there are other people who are also in safe houses, and you are very aware of this, Sheung, right? They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there. People had things they were doing. People had jobs that they were doing. So they shouldn't be there. We want accountability. We want to see a reform, a complete overhaul, a reform of the police sector in that police department or whatever they call it, the military. Now, let me tell you something so that everybody can understand. Another thing I desperately want to see is our media houses, our journalists need to step up. This is your job. Report the news. Put it in the cycle that it deserves. tell it over and over again so that people know what's going on. I know it's not easy, but we cannot be shamed and silenced into this thing that we are in now.
I was actually
media houses need media houses need to talk. People need to talk, because the more you do that. Now let me give you a direct effect on this.
Please.
Now again, like I said, so many things may be slow. So many things may not be moving as fast as we want. But the truth is this: because of our constant, because we too, let me not lie, we they troll the government just the way some people they troll us, right? So because of our constant trolling, whether they resigned those service chiefs or they sacked those service chiefs, they have been sacked or resigned. Which was one of the things that we were always talking about on social media, that these people are incompetent. How is it that you're quick to kill citizens, but you can't catch Boko Haram? So the more you talk about something, the more you leave the platform open for people to express themselves, like social media that they are finding difficult and how to understand.
Right.
At least we'll see the needle change or shift rather.
If I were a journalist and if I ran like a journalistic outfit, I would say that yes, you're asking us to speak, but some people have focused their attention on the NSAS protest, and they have been fined by the government. Some of them allegedly for using unverified video and broadcasting that. So if I were a media house, I would say to you that what more can I do? Because if I speak louder than I'm doing, I will be fined by the authorities, and they can even close me down. So
please,
how would you respond to a journalist who says that?
Please, Seun, first of all, I don't know, they might not like what I'm about to say. Pay the fine. Pay the fine and do your job, right? Join the movement in one way. Even as journalists I'm sure, because I'm not a journalist, but I'm sure that they can find a way to begin to fight back on things like this. They have the right to free speech as well. That is one of their core fundamental human rights as journalists. They must speak. You understand what I'm saying? When you don't talk about these things, and we're talking about frivolities, then they win. You have to find a way to fight back. If they bring a fine and you have money, because, a lot of us, let me not say us, but, there are companies that pay for adverts and all that pay. But if you don't have it or you don't want to pay, use that money, hire a legal team, take the case to court and say, why are you fining me? We have to do things right. This is what I think, do you understand? According to some people, I don't like Wala. But with regards to verification, they are talking about things from unverified. First of all, my dear leaders, my account is verified, so I think that qualifies. They can see the blue tick there as verification, all right, and they can do their own research and find out whether you can Photoshop an Instagram live stream.
Sweet. We are gradually coming to the end of this Instagram live session. But I'm sure that many people who are watching you, thousands are watching you now. And I'm so sure millions will end up watching this thing. For the people who are watching, the question that they're asking is this: what next? It was you who made us all to patent that statement that says Wahala no dey finish. But it does not mean that we should not try to find solution to Wahala. Wahala means problem for non-Nigerians who are watching us.
Oh yeah, I remember saying that at the International Criminal Court.
Is the next thing that needs to happen now? Okay.
First of all, I'm not the leader of this group. I'm a member of the NSAS protesters.
You mentioned that
it is completely. I'm a member. And so what I know I must do is push this to the ends, if of where I can push it to. And a few things are coming up in the coming weeks that I would likely share with everyone, depending on if those bodies want to make it public or not. All right. Now I'm doing my own part in my own little way, even though it has cost me my own personal happiness. But I'm actually happy doing it because somebody has to speak up. Somebody has to do it. Now, I think everybody should sit and look within themselves and say, what can I do? It could be something as simple as signing the petition, which is on you people's website. It could be something as simple as that. It doesn't take you anything. It takes you less than less than 2 or 3 minutes. By the time you click the link, you go there, you sign up your name, put your email, and that's that. You've signed the petition. Okay? Now, it could be you trying to educate the people around you, trying to start educating yourself on what laws are, what laws are governing my community. Who's my local government chairman? What is his track record? How long has he even been there? Has he even done anything for us? And then start to seek how to either partake in these processes, okay, or be ready to vote. Because a lot of us talk and say, don't worry, you see me there, I'll vote, but we don't go out. And you don't blame people, because a lot of these thugs are out there on the streets harassing people for not voting the way they like. Police people are there still, you understand? So it's difficult, I get it. But we as a people, we've seen what we can do with NSAS protests. So now we need to come together. We need to speak, which is very important. The louder we speak, the more the people we need them to help us will hear. The time when we keep quiet, they feel like, oh, maybe the government have started resolving their issues, so let's move on to other topics.
So
you understand what I mean?
Exactly. One of the things that came out from NSAS is the slang Sorosoke. Sorosoke simply means speak up.
Speak up. Absolutely.
Open your mouth.
It is important, like I said, it is important. You must check your character. You must see what you can do. It's not everybody that knows how to protest. It's not everybody that even can protest, even if they wanted to protest, maybe because they don't have they're not financially stable enough to even say, I'm not going to work for 1 week. It's not everybody that can do it. So whatever you can do, you must do it. It is worse to be silent. You must do something, no matter how small.
Stay strong. I see lots of people saying, sweet, stay strong. We are with you. What would you say to all of these people as I bring this to a close? What would you say to them?
Hey, just be kind to one another, all right? Respect each other. Respect each other's religion. Respect each other's tribe. It's important. Yeah? We've shown that we can do that during the NSAS. We have it in us. The government uses these things to keep us divided. They want to let you believe that a certain group of people or a certain religion or tribe has it better than you. Okay? It may look that way, but just know that if you meet your average Nigerian on the street, in fact, where this example works the best is when you travel out of the country and you meet a fellow Nigerian. We're always happy to see each other, even though we don't know each other. We are the loudest in the room.
And then we start calling ourselves brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters. And they tell you. So please, my advice to you is respect each other. Just love in your own way, okay? There's a lot of hate online these days. There's just a lot of hate in general. It is okay to argue. It's okay to disagree. If you want to bring it on social media, if that's your thing, do it, okay? But let's quit with all the bitterness, because if we can do that, then it's easier to fight for each other. All right?
Thank you very much.
I'm starving.
Thank you so much
for
being with us today. Let me quickly talk to the audience. I want to thank you for investing your time with us today. This live session has been interesting as it has been engaging. Remember, everyone, that you can take action now by clicking on the link in the bio to sign the petition to end police violence in Nigeria. Please follow Amnesty International Nigeria on all our social media platforms so that you can keep up to date with human rights situation in the country and, of course, across the world.